Cool. So does everyone understand the difference between tertiary and secondary seclusion? Cool. We've also got long-term segregation. So this will be an MDT decision, so that's multidisciplinary team. And the environment should be made no more restrictive than is necessary. Patients should also be able to access secure outdoor areas and a range of activities of interest and relevance to that person. So what this means is, I think it's 72 hours. Once somebody has been in tertiary seclusion over 72 hours, it is likely to change to long-term segregation. It changes some of our processes around how often we review them and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the slide, in the presentations. The main difference is we need to be looking at trying to alleviate some of our restrictiveness, essentially. So we need to be trying to give that patient access to fresh air, to external spaces. We need to be looking at, can we provide this person with some activities of interest? Because essentially we're saying we've locked this person in a room for an extended period of time now. We need to be thinking about their quality of life as well. Yeah, so we'll be trying to change some of our processes. Make sense? Cool. This is our tertiary seclusion suite then. So as I said on the slide, you have bathroom space, you have bedroom space, and you have lounge area. But really it's just one big space. Yeah, it just has the facilities of all those things. Yeah. So some of the features of the room. So we've got the observation window and hatch. So staff are always present in the observation room. So staff would be through the other side of this window. They'll be observing at all times. Staff can give food and drink items through the hatch. So the hatch is the sort of silver part next to it. Can you guys see that? So that would be where staff will place items, so maybe drinks. They can then spin that hatch around so that the patient can access those things without the staff having to physically go in the room. We have a tablet on the wall, so this is a touchscreen tablet which has various applications such as games, radio, phone, there's other things on there as well. This can be controlled from outside the room as well. So the patient obviously has access to this, but the staff outside, if they're sort of using anything inappropriately, they could control that tablet to sort of take applications away or change various features of the touchscreen tablet. For example, you might have a patient who is really unwell in that space. Maybe they've turned the radio on, turned the volume all the way up, and now the doctors have come along and they need to have a conversation with that person. That person is not taking on information to turn down the music. We could then control that from the outside of the room. We could turn down the music from outside if we needed to. And then once the review's over, we could look to turn that back up. Yeah? Cool. We've got a safety pod here, so hopefully you guys are a little bit familiar with these. This is equipment to aid in seclusion exits and interventions by the staff. This also serves as furniture for the patient. So you guys will sort of learn what to do with safety pods and how to do the seclusion exits and stuff on your PMBA courses, so we won't go into that too much now. Essentially, it's also furniture for the patient. If the patient was using this inappropriately, so maybe they were covering themselves with the safety pod, and we now could not see whether that person was breathing or not, we might have to think about removing the safety pod. Maybe they've broken the safety pod as well, we might need to think about removing it. But for the most part, they're going to have access to this, and they're sort of free to use it as they would. Yeah. Mattress. So this is specially designed for seclusion. So the mattresses on the ward, they just have zips running around the outside, so they can be opened quite easily by a patient. These mattresses don't have that, yeah, so they can't be sort of opened. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, so in some extreme circumstances, patients have managed to get into these mattresses, but for the most part, it's going to stop a lot of that. So it's much better to use these mattresses. Again, these can be used for interventions, so again, we sort of cover that on your PMBA courses. Maybe we need to give the patient medication, maybe we need to do seclusion exits, we could look at using the mattress for that. Again, if they were using the mattress inappropriately, so sort of covering themselves with the mattress so that we couldn't see that they were alive, we would have to look at removing it. Obviously, we'd be looking to have that discussion with them before that, yeah, trying to gauge some compliance.
Yeah.
Bathroom facilities. So as you can see, the patient doesn't have bathroom privacy. The staff can see into this area, and it needs to be that way because we need to be able to observe the patient at all times. Staff can control the water from outside the room, so you will have some situations where patients try sort of flooding the room. Maybe they'll stuff down the toilet, or they'll cover the drain over the shower, and then begin flooding the room. If that happens, staff can just turn off the water from the outside, and then just only allow them access to the water when they're using it appropriately. Staff could also look to close the blinds on the window. So that window I showed you has blinds on it. They could close that at times because they also have CCTV to observe the patient. But if there's any concerns or doubts around the safety of that patient, they wouldn't be closing that blind. Obviously, using the CCTV, you do have limited observation of that person, so it's a lot harder to see them breathe, for instance. So any doubts, you just keep the blinds open and they wouldn't have bathroom privacy. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That is tertiary seclusion. Any questions?